Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode where I'm hoping that you're able to hear exactly what my lovely voice is saying because this is the second night in a row. I'm getting a little bit of a cold, but that's not enough to keep me away from 1933. In fact, it puts me in character because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are in Borneo. We are in 1933, and these people around me are facing the Yellow Death. That's right. Perhaps I already have it. I might not be in my right mind. That means I'm going to be rolling a little crazy. I might be throwing some things at them that even I feel bad about later. Of course not. But anywho, we're going to have fun. All of us are going to have fun. We're going to watch it here on Sunday night on Twitch or whenever you're free on the YouTubes. And you're going to be with us here in 1933. I can't wait to get ready. I can't wait to throw this down. But first, we're going to talk to the Olympians, perhaps. Get closer. Perhaps for the last time. Allison! Cato Callahan, 1933, another great day, right?
Another fantastic day. Hey, everybody, it's Allison. I'm playing Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. And her philosophy of life these days is that life is not a puzzle to be solved. Life is a race, and I like to win. So hold on, buckle up. Here we go.
It's a race. She likes to win. Which saying is there has to be a loser. Who's it gonna be? If Kate's gonna win, someone's gotta lose. Lauren, tell us about Sabella Ives, 1933. Does she want to win? Or is she gonna be the first loser?
Oh my God, you are the worst person I have ever met, Greg. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a very nice person. I play Sabella Ives of Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, to which I will be returning very soon, alive and well. Or someone's gonna pay. Greg?
What a segue! That's right. It is Greg, and I'm here, and I'm the keeper, and I'm here to tell you there's somebody else here. In fact, there's three more people, and the first one up is Steve. Steve, Dwight Burke, 1933, the sniper. Will he live? Will he die? Is he going to be a winner?
Oh, he's definitely going to live. Hi, I play Dwight Burke, World War One sniper. Alvin York, when he left the war, got all the fame. Dwight Burke got to join the Olympians. I think he made out pretty well.
Well said, well said. And speaking of somebody else that says things well and means well when he says them, not that last one. Strider, Elijah Sawyer, 1933. You were back in action last night for the bonus episode, but this is your first one back in 2 weeks for continuity. Is your guy ready?
He is a fast learner, so hopefully he can kind of snap out of the stupor he's been in. He is seeing imaginary people, or at least he doesn't think they're imaginary. There's little girls talking to him, asking for rescue from Borneo and from the plague and from probably Nazis and other stuff. So he's been a little distracted, and hopefully he can kind of snap to, shove the girl out of his mind, and focus on the moment at hand.
Focusing. That, my friend, is a perfect segue to our final Olympian, the focused, the drilled in, the determined Dr. Greta von Krause. She had the Olympians' heads opened up, fiddled around with the noodles a little bit, got to know them a little bit better, as did the rest of us. But tonight's not about learning what's between the ears, but learning what's in the heart. Let's see who can stand up, who's the winner and who's the loser. But before that, Lindy, Greta, 1933.
Well, Greta would argue that she knows exactly what's in the heart. There's all sorts of, ventricles and arteries and all sorts of things. But that is trivial. That's basic medicine. She knew that by third grade. Anyways, she is super intrigued by this plague that seems to be going about. This yellow death, as it were. Now, she's not interested in catching it. However, she is interested in studying it. And, I guess we ought to see where that goes. Hopefully the water that she made is safe to drink. And, she's probably the most excited Olympian at this moment. She's just like, oh, excitement.
excitement. That is a word, and we'll apply it here. So to bring everybody back in after our Olympians here have been introduced, we did have our bonus episode last night. Please check it out on the YouTubes. It is there, ready for you to learn a little bit more about what makes each of these characters tick. I think that the cast did a fantastic job last night of actually getting into the characters and explaining them in real world ways that transcend time. 1933, 2018, the answers were a little bit universal there, and I really, really liked them and appreciated them. Lindy did a fantastic job cracking into everybody, and I'm actually eagerly awaiting the sequel to that episode. But before we begin, if you feel that the Olympians might need some help, you can contribute at the donation list down below, but I would prefer you just to sit back and enjoy to see what is going to happen. When last we met the Olympians as they arrived in Borneo with the expert flying of one Cato Callahan that saved the ugly duckling from certain demise, and potentially some of the Olympians, they landed at a British military base captained by one Philip Lancaster. Philip was an eccentric man. He is still with them. They are still within the camp. They attended dinner with him. He seems to be some type of huntsman. He enjoys his trophies. He enjoys his kills. He enjoys his life as a British soldier. At the end of the episode, after some talking and kind of learning a little bit more about the Yellow Death, which kills in 48 hours after contraction, they were summoned to the line. The line is where the British Army is holding the cordon that keeps anybody from the mountain that may be contagious with the Yellow Death from returning to Borneo proper. They were summoned to the line, and there, 400 to 500 yards beyond their cordon, was one Joseph Dietrich, who appears to be terminally afflicted by the Yellow Death. Around his neck is a sign that says, "Must speak with an Olympian." And with that, we return to the line. We return to early morning Borneo. We return to 1933. Ladies and gentlemen, we return to the Olympians. What would you guys like to do?
So I think I've still got his field glasses, and I'm looking out there at the sign. I look for a few moments, and I sigh, and I turn to Sabella and say, "Miss Ives, I think you better take a look." And I hand her the field glasses.
I slip off my gloves and I take the field glasses of Philip Lancaster.
You take the field glasses, not identified as belonging to Philip Lancaster, but of the British military.
Well, I'm going to take them.
Are you going to do something with them?
Yes, Greg.
Okay, well, roll a d6 for me.
Oh.
And while you're doing that,
Oh my God.
I will let you know the following. As you grab hold of the glasses, you see flashes almost as if you're looking through them. You see all the way back to World War I, scenes that perhaps Dwight himself would be familiar with, of peeking around barricades over a no man's land of death and dirt, barbed wire, and fallen corpses. You see great plains in what may or may not be northern Africa. You see Southeast Asia. You see probably the Russian steppes. You see that these glasses, much like the men that carry them, have been everywhere. And just when you're ready to kind of slip back, seeing mostly mundane or mostly just nothing that catches your eye, the last glimpse that you get isn't from the glasses, but one of the lenses in the glasses as your finger just kind of errantly kind of clips the side of the glass. And for a moment, you are standing upon the boards of a clipper ship. And as the clipper ship rocks and eddies in the rising waves of some vast ocean, you see a figure turn around and smile. And that figure looks a lot like Philip Lancaster. And you're back.
Great. Good. Well, then I'm just, gonna actually look through the glasses now. Like a normal person. I rolled a 1, by the way, on that D6.
Sure. Take that away from your magic point total,
Okay.
as you are blessedly burning through your ability to do that sort of shit. As you look through the glasses this time, normally, almost Philip Lancaster almost says something to you, offers to help, and then he sees that you're kind of focusing in, and that brief pause allows him to be quiet. And as you look through, you see exactly what Kate saw. You see the swaying form of Joseph Dietrich as he is standing there. His once handsome features are stretched and bloated with pustules and boils all up his neck, almost to his eye. And the left eye is bloodshot. Not so much bloodshot as it is filled with blood. You can actually see a trickle coming out of the corner where something, be it a vein or one of these boils, has ruptured. He is standing, and even as you watch, he is trying to maintain some sense of control as he adjusts his uniform and snaps the lapels down as he realizes, perhaps in a delirium, that an officer must present himself at all times.
I don't know why it makes me a little sad. The whole thing makes me a little sad. I'm sorry. I don't tell anyone that.
As all of this is happening, Kate is wrestling around in her satchel and kind of talking to Captain Lancaster. Now, could you tell me, Captain Lancaster, a little bit about the path that heads up there, where he might have come from? I got a map right here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. And she's stalling a little bit to wait to see what she gets from Sabella.
I shrug.
There is a Borneo map up for everybody. You guys should have that available to you in Roll20. If you do not, let me know, and I will pop it up there. Boop, boop. I'll pop it up anyway, just to make sure. Bing.
Got it.
There you are.
Now we have it.
Okay, so as you are looking at the area, the major town in this area is Renau, and that is essentially what Lancaster has been tasked with protecting. He points that there is a small path, very prominent path, that's leading directly up the mountain. There aren't any other trails. It's well worn. There are ruts in it from motorized vehicles. In fact, there are a couple vehicles on the inside of the line as if they are preparing to go in, but you can tell that recently nothing has passed into the quarantine zone. Perhaps they are there for whenever the quarantine is lifted. Lancaster and his men are ready to enter at a moment's notice and offer aid. But other than that, you can see the well-defined trail. It's presumed you didn't see Dietrich arrive. It's presumed that he's close enough to the trail that it looks like he probably came down it.
You're muted, Allison.
Probably a good thing. I was about to do something super stupid.
Let's go back. Let's revisit that. Let's go back and revisit what you were going to say, and I'll tell you if it's stupid. I'm sure it's perfectly fine.
I will tackle you.
Greta's just kind of like squinting and looking out. It's not who I believe it is.
Yes, it is, Dr. Von Krause. Yes, it is.
Interesting.
And Kate does come out of the satchel, not with a map, but with the serpent gun around her right arm.
Dwight's going to scope the horizon with his grad.
Up the mountain?
Yep.
Okay.
And she says, Captain, never mind. Hold on. I'll be right back.
What are you doing?
Now, look, y'all, just give me a minute. I'm going to go see what he wants.
No, you can't come back if you go across it. No.
As soon as you make a move towards the gate, Lancaster doesn't stop you, but he kind of holds a hand up and he says, Mr. Callahan, as soon as you go across, I will not be allowed to let you re-enter Her Majesty's land.
I'm well aware of the consequences, Captain. Frankly, I'm not sure you could stop me, but nevertheless, what we're after lies up that mountain.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you need to cross it right this second.
Who are you all
May I
talking
He
about?
also the binoculars.
Yeah, I'll pass them around.
What stage does it look like he's in? And I'm not holding it up to my face, but just a hair off.
It's very like deep into the third stage, according to like the
Okay.
pictures that you've seen.
Pictures. He appears to be quite deep into this.
Hey, who are y'all talking about?
Herr Dietrich.
Dietrich? That Jerry Kraut bastard?
The same.
I need to talk to him. Elijah kind of stands up and snaps out of whatever stupor he's been in and kind of stumbles forward a bit, checking his outfit, making sure his buttons are all buttoned nicely. And it's... I have questions for that gentleman. I'm going to go talk to him.
I will. If I have to grab both of you and wrestle you to the ground, I will. Do not do anything hasty.
Now, don't listen to what she's saying, Strider. What is Elijah doing? If he's making his way, the officers will not stop him at all. They will open the gates and allow him to enter into the quarantine zone.
If no one's physically stopping him, he's going to march right out there. Any words being said to him kind of just...
Sabella does tackle him.
In one ear and out the other.
I wasn't talking as Lauren, Greg.
No, I know that. I understand that. I gotcha. I understand what you were doing.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, as you're talking, I wanted to know what his reaction was so I could tell you what to roll.
Okay.
So if you want to drag him to the ground, you're going to need to roll a strength check. Strider, you're going to have to oppose that strength check. Lower winner wins. If it's a tie, tie goes to Strider. Those are the rules. Let's go.
All right. There's no way.
Jeez.
What?
Lauren.
Now, Strider, I will let you know that if you spend 7 luck, you would tie her, and you would, in fact, be able to continue along your way.
I'm going to say the full tackling's not even necessary. You lay your hands on him, and he spins around, and he'll slap your arms, and just, don't you ever touch me, and, Sabella, sorry, I didn't see you there.
In the middle of the chaos, Kate steps out and is quickly at a jog, calls back over her shoulder, Mr. Burke, cover me, and is jogging toward Mr. Dietrich.
Dwight kind of just responds there best. He has nothing good nothing good will come of this.
Okay.
But he's going to protect Kate, of course.
Okay, Dwight's trained on the area around Dietrich, correct? That's what Steve, Dwight's looking at the area around
Absolutely.
Dietrich.
He's looking for ambushes. He's looking for anything that will, if he sees anything wrong, he's going to be getting fire.
Okay, I would like Elijah, Sabella, and Greta to roll a spot hidden for me, please.
Success. Sabella's on high alert.
Okay, so Sabella, after this exchange, potentially heated between you and Elijah, with Elijah kind of pulling back in surprise, realizing it's you, whether Sabella is taken aback or whether she is angered or whatever emotional state she's currently in, her eyes drift for a second as she doesn't want to look at Sawyer. She's distracted by the fact that Kate just ran out into the, oh, someone just did something. What was that? Kiana, thank you. We shall cross the streams. And for a moment you look over, and just as Kate runs out into the quarantine zone, you see Philip Lancaster smile.
Oh, I wasn't on mute, was I, Greg? I am going to hold that in reserve and say, no one else move. And it's one of the big, very wide-eyed smiles. It looks tense. And my heart hurts.
Thank you, Mint Magician. We'll cross the streams, baby. Okay, so
happy right now.
Sabella has a wide smile on her face.
No one move.
I'd like to know what Greta and Elijah are doing at this point, because Dwight is already predisposed to be watching the horizon, and we'll get to that in just a second.
All right. So, for clarity's sake, because it has been a week, the potentially mapped out village that Sabella saw is inside of the quarantine zone. Yes. Okay. I wanted to make sure that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever
Greta's
whenever she had her vision quest, and she saw
Okay.
the village, the aid station, and
It's all within the quarantine zone. Okay.
a site farther north up the mountain,
How?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Past the quarantine zone?
in the middle of it.
Oh, in the middle of it. Okay.
That she got that information from Kate as she tried to extrapolate it from it. Exact directions, exact
not
mileage,
exact
none of that
directions.
is right. None of that has been
For our
ascertained.
approximate knowledge, we believe that it is all within the. Okay.
Right, yes. You guys wanted to know if it was actually up the trail. It is indeed up the trail. It is right along the trail.
Okay. Greta is going to. Are there any? Where's that really helpful young officer boy?
Reginald.
Reginald. Is he with us here?
Well, sure.
How many soldiers are around us, Greg?
Oh, about 50.
Great.
Greta's gonna turn to Reginald. She didn't see Lancaster smile, but she's gonna see Kit crossing. Just go. Reginald, would you be able to
Yes, ma'am.
assist me in bringing some of the extra caduceus medical supplies to the border here?
Yes, Mom. He snaps, and a couple of the other soldiers come over, and he
Along with
says,
some extra canteens of water and bleach and iodine.
"Would you like us to put it in a truck, Mom?"
Can we take a truck up the mountain?
Reginald seems to think you can.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, and he runs off, and he within a minute or two, it's not very far away, you see them start loading up one of the trucks with the medical supplies marked with the eye of Caduceus.
I'm gonna go over and supervise, but I'm also kind of seeing if they're purposely leaving anything, purposely taking anything, and if there's anything I could be like, oh, this is nice, we'll just take that too. Oh, look, there's some medical equipment.
You really can't tell what's in the boxes, as these are actual sealed crates.
Looked inside of them. I guess
you did, but you didn't look inside all of them.
All
you looked
of them.
inside.
Okay.
It was as described to you last time. It was very generic stuff. Like it wasn't medicine to treat. It was medicine to comfort.
Help.
Correct.
Yeah.
There is morphine. There is like comfort measures, but there doesn't appear to be anything that would look like a way to metabolize like some type of cure or yeah.
That's what Greta's doing.
Greta is overseeing the loading of one of the trucks. Elijah, what are you doing as you are standing next to a smiling Sabella?
Elijah checks his gloves to make sure they're still on, checks his sleeves, make sure there was absolutely no skin tact with this woman. And after he sees there wasn't, his eyes flit up to Kate and looks like he's going to follow her just for a second. And he stops and he straightens his jacket again and kind of starts looking around this place like he's seeing it for the first time. And he takes a step back towards everyone and is just trying to take everything in, observe people, and come to his senses.
And to bring Strider up to speed on what Elijah's been doing for the past roughly 12 to 18 hours, after the crash in Borneo, Ruby was with you. She was with you during the crash. You actually helped her out of the plane and onto the dock as the ugly duckling was sundered and taking on water at the seaport. But as soon as you got into the village, Ruby didn't appear anymore. And she has not appeared to you in the 12 to 16, 18 hours since. But during that time, you have been filled with images that are not necessarily your own. Very strong senses of deja vu, especially when you were eating dinner with Captain Lancaster. Like you had been here before. Like you had sat in a different seat, though. You were across the table. Everything seemed bigger then. You were amazed at the animals, despite how Elijah might really feel about trophies. You remembered being in wonder at these things that you saw before and how nice Captain Lancaster was to you. In fact, you remember, for whatever reason, him calling you an angel at one point, though you don't remember that word ever passing his lips, at least in your direction. So you've been walking around this fog, this reliving of a time recently spent in this same military camp. And it is just now at the daybreak, with the arrival of Dietrich and perhaps the contact with Sabella, even though it didn't do anything skin to skin, just the physical kind of jerking reoriented Elijah, and you are able to refocus.
Miss Ives, I must apologize. This, the kind of thing you do, it takes a toll, don't it?
Sometimes.
Hmm,
Although I'm feeling very alert right now.
I'm sure you are.
I think we should just all take a second.
Captain Lancaster begins to walk over.
Why? Why?
Because Kate's no longer there. Yeah.
Casual walking.
Elijah's gonna lean over to Sabella really quick and, don't know if you know, but I think the girl we're looking for knew that man, and it might not be a good thing.
Yeah, if he's not over yet, I tell Sawyer in particular to watch everything that he does.
Let's roll. Let's do this. This is going to be I will allow you to do a fast talk here. Literally to see if you can cover your words well enough to Sawyer that he gets your meaning, but it might not potentially be gleaned by somebody else.
And we won't let me roll charm.
Nope. No. I'm pretty sure I want a fast talk here.
Nope.
It was the old college try, but so as you say this and walk over, you can notice one of his eyebrows peaks a bit as he walks over, and he says, "Your friend is impulsive. She is taken to the quarantine zone. I'm afraid I cannot allow her back over."
You told us that.
That is the Olympian captain. She makes her own decisions without consulting the rest of us because she's in charge.
As is the want of any good leader. Yes.
How long have you been a leader?
Oh, a leader. Since a small boy. My mother always said that I was the one taking over the household. But, my whole life, I believe. So I appreciate the action of your aviatrix, your Miss O'Callahan. Commendable.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah's going to try to get a general vibe from this guy and see if he's enjoying this a little too much.
He is having a fucking blast. But because of that role, I will also tell you that he seems to, like I said, it's not a magic spell whenever you roll a psychology roll on somebody, but you're able to glean that he does feel this way about Kate and her ability to kind of just go out and, take charge. But there's also an underlying sense of delight in the decision.
You've never met our friend Herr Dietrich before, have you, friend?
Who is Herr Dietrich? He points up to Jerry.
That gentleman out there in the field, just with a little less swelling and a little less, whatever the hell's going on.
He puffs up a little bit. I do not associate with Jerry. We have not seen eye to eye for, many years.
How many years?
Oh, for as long as I can remember. Politics. What?
I believe him.
I don't. Okay.
So while this conversation's going on, at this point, the jog of Kate O'Callahan begins to slow as she pulls within 50, 40, 30 feet.
Stop.
Oh, okay. So 50, is that where you want to stop?
30.
30? Within 30, you stop, and as you're looking at Dietrich, you can tell that both eyes are taking you in, but the one that is filled with blood is... You're not sure just how much it's registering. The one that's clear seems to be kind of going in and out of focus as you can see it's almost like he's squinting as if he's trying to read something far away and doesn't have his spectacles with him. He's just, and whenever he finally recognizes your face, he says, Miss O'Callahan, welcome to Borneo.
Kate has the serpent gun trained at him and has, since she slowed to a walk. Mr. Dietrich, say what you got to say. I'm in a hurry. I got things to do.
We had nothing to do with this. Nothing. The mountain is not our doing.
Well, how unfortunate for you, Mr. Dietrich. Anything you want to share with me before I go up there and get what you couldn't get?
Get the girl. They have her.
Who has her?
I can't remember. Caduceus. There. It is not what it seems to be.
She takes a couple of steps forward, about 20 feet now.
He pushes it. He puts his hand up as if to ward you off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Mr.
get
Dietrich,
closer.
tell me everything you know, and I'll make this end quick for you. You won't feel a thing.
He starts to kind of sway a bit in the morning breeze, but he's swaying against the breeze. And he says, it is never the end for me. You must do something for me, Miss O'Callahan.
And what would that be, Mr. Dietrich?
He motions, and between the two of you, there is what appears to be some form of case. It looks like it's oak and it bears a swastika. I have not touched that with my hands. It has not come into contact with anything of the Yellow Death. You must take that to another one of me. Do you understand?
What is it?
Ask the doctor. She'll know.
All right. I can do that for you.
You must swear. If you swear, I will help you. I will believe you. Kate O'Callahan, I will believe you. Because I have no reason to distrust an Olympian.
Mr. Dietrich, I swear to you that I will see this case delivered to
another one of me. Oh God. If you do this, they will be compelled to answer any question that you ask of them. Anything. That should be your incentive. Think of your question, Miss O'Callahan. Save the girl. She is up on the mountain. There's been an event. There are things there that are not of this world. All of my men are dead. I am dead. But we are not Olympians, are we?
No, sir, you are not.
The girl is too important to fall in some jungle. You know this. Do you know anything of her?
I think we know what she's capable of.
Good. Then you know that she is too important to lose. She is too important for political boundaries. The British. You must hurry. They will not give you much time.
Do you have anything else for me, Mr. Dietrich, before I put you out of your misery?
He pulls himself straight and he attempts to slide back his hair that's come undone. And he stands and he pulls his lapels down and he reaches with a shaking hand and twists the swastika and corrects its position on his lapel as he stands there and says, "Keep your word to me, Miss Kate O'Callahan. And even the Fuhrer will not be able to order our silence." And he waits.
Kate looks him straight in the eye and wills the serpent gun to shoot right at his head.
As the blast is coming towards his head, you see his eyes roll up a moment before the strike hits and he begins to slump. And as it takes him, you realize that he is expired at the exact same time that the blast took him. And Joseph Dietrich crumples to the earth of Borneo. Dwight witnesses all of this, obviously without the audio narration.
Kate lowers the serpent gun and turns back around toward the gate and starts to jog back.
Dwight, of course, covers her.
Dwight, as you are covering Kate O'Callahan, you realize that you are joined on the wall by about 24 riflemen, and all of them are lowering their rifles at Kate O'Callahan.
Like they're going to fire on her?
Well, they are aiming at Kate O'Callahan.
What the fuck are you doing?
They
Lower your goddamn weapons.
They don't pay attention to you at all, and you hear Captain Lancaster's voice reach up to you as you're on one of the elevated positions, and he says, "Oh, I'm afraid we told you, soldier. She cannot come back.
That's
She's been
fine,
exposed.
Lancaster, but you take the guns down off of her. Goddamn it.
Cross.
I have my orders. We can't let her come within 200 feet of the cordon."
Whose orders?
I
Her
start yelling
Majesty's.
for Kate to stop. I start yelling for Kate.
Yeah,
to
Kate,
stop.
you can see all this happening. You can see the lines of rifles along the top of the...
Yeah, so Kate's aware that she can't come all the way back. She's just not quite sure where that boundary line lies, but as soon as she hears Sabella yelling for her to stop, she stops.
Dwight pulls out the 45. Tell them to lower the weapons now.
Yes.
Oh, fucking hell.
We'll go over the goddamn line. You are not going to shoot her. I don't know what's going on here, but you know damn well you just watched her walk up the hill, Captain.
Boy, we do not question our orders. We simply follow them.
Whose orders are you following?
Reginald, At this point, Reginald and the several soldiers that were finishing loading up the truck stop, pull their sidearms, and point them at Sabella and Greta. My boy, this is foolish.
We're going to take our leave. And we're going to join our captain. You do anything, you're the first to go. You want to point guns at women? That's what a soldier does?
She is your captain.
Right. She does. They are not to come within 200 feet. This was we were warned of this.
See? The Jerry knows.
We knew the rule. We knew the rules, Captain. You don't need to
Enforce them? I believe I do.
You know damn well you don't need to do this.
Actions would dictate otherwise.
Make sure Miss O'Callaghan is 200 feet back, and we will join her as soon as we are ready to.
Can I do a psychology or spot hidden on him or anything? Like, you know what I mean? It seems off.
Yeah, you can do a
me.
You can do a psychology. Yeah, you can roll psychology on him. This is the kind of a heated situation.
This is like
Hard success.
Oh shit!
Okay, Dwight, you've been in.
Ask me the questions.
Right, Dwight, you've been in your fair share of life-changing, precarious, threatening positions. You're in one now. You can tell that while the captain in front of you is in fact following orders, you glean a bit of what Sabella felt, and that this is exactly what he wanted to happen. He has one of you across the line, and this little confrontation is not worrying him. He doesn't appear to have an elevated pulse. If you were playing poker with him, this person would be stone cold. And as you look, and perhaps in a reaction to your read of him, he reads a bit of you, and as your eyes slightly widen at the realization, his face curls into a smile. So, going to be going up the mountain, right? Join your captain.
But said, yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And he starts heading for the gate. He kind of keeps the gun on him. He said, ladies, Mr. Sawyer, you coming with me?
Greta, do we have everything we need?
Just about. I am merely double checking that we are good to go.
Take the truck. Compliments of Her Majesty.
Dankeschön.
Thank you,
Hey, Greta, double check,
Captain,
sir.
for your hospitality, and we shall be taken on leave right now. And Elijah, at least, is going to go pack up and...
Okay, so is he going to get into the truck, or is he going to walk out to meet Kate?
I'm probably going to go towards the truck.
Okay.
You know, as Dwight backs up, you know, he's like, goddamn sneaky ass British.
He is trying to, you know, take in all of his environment, so he's looking for anything of note, but he already knows this is a shitty situation.
Okay. So as you guys load into the truck or cross the line...
I double check to make sure that they put on the extra water and cleaning supplies, the bleach and the iodine that I requested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you saw them load up what appeared to be
Making
jugs full of fluid and
sure.
everything like that.
I
Yeah.
would have double checked. I would have been like, yep, water. Yep, because she's not going across without being as prepared as she can be. Okay.
Yep. It appears that they have given you exactly what you asked for.
Oh yeah, sure. They're gonna give us a fair head start.
She's gonna double check the engine too to make sure it's not gonna like, oh, this is the crappy rundown truck we're giving you.
You can make a mechanical repair roll for me if you like.
Yes, I will. I will.
No,
do
I have a
so.
question after Greg.
What, you?
Yes, that is a success.
It seems like a good truck.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
they're all kind of weather worn because of
Yeah,
the humidity
yeah.
and stuff, but they seem.
But it's not like, let's give them the crap truck that's gonna break down as soon as we cross the line. No, okay.
No, yeah, it seems good. It's all right.
All right, yeah. Well, then she'll be like, last one's game.
Okay, 2 questions
Yes.
because Lauren doesn't know this.
Sure.
clipper ships old?
Mhm. They were around into the 1800s. As I mean, there's still clipper ships around now.
Okay.
But I mean, as
I don't
far
know.
as I mean, the ironclads came into vogue right before the Civil War in Europe, and so I mean, clipper ships were actually used for, a lot of the sieges the naval sieges that took place in the port cities in the U.S. Civil War, which in this time frame, 60, 70 years ago. So I mean, they're still in operation. You could still see a clipper ship. They're not nearly as, it's like now, if you go to like New York Harbor, you might see like a historic clipper ship or somebody sailing like a historic regatta type of thing. But I mean, they're not, at this point in 1933, they certainly weren't being used to transport anything.
Right, and he looked his age in the vision. He looked his age now, or he looked younger?
He looked his age now.
Okay. Can I? Okay. Can I make a general history check to see if anything in particular about that was like something that Lauren would not know, but Sabella might?
What do you mean by that?
I don't know, anything he was wearing at the time that looked strange, like out of place?
Anything that would betray him being in the past.
Chronologically in the wrong time frame?
Yes.
Right now that he's wearing?
No.
Back
in
then?
the vision. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. This is retroactive, but I'll allow you to do a spot hidden, but it's going to have to be hard or better to...
I mean, okay. Sure. Why not?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
How about 2 points of luck?
Okay, 2 points of luck, and you call up in your mind as you kind of stop and think as everybody else is loading into the truck and getting ready to go. And, Greta is checking out the final things and jumping in. Dwight, who is under heavy suspicion as Dwight moves from the elevated position, several guns stay on Dwight as he is moving towards the line or towards the truck or wherever he's moving. There are rifles pointed at Dwight. Philip Lancaster stands there and just kind of watches everything going on. And at this point, Reginald takes off and goes back towards the trophy tent. And as you're sitting there thinking and trying to see if there was something that was out of place in the vision, something that would betray a time period, you don't see anything on Lancaster, but then you look over his shoulder, and when you see what would apparently be the deck with the wheel on it, you see somebody using a sextant to try to negotiate some type of parchment map.
I will not pretend like I know what that is.
Like a great big protractor.
Oh.
Or a compass, like a compass, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like what they use in the pirate movies.
It's ye oldie.
Ye old times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. And very last question. Is he avoiding my eyes at all?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know if that's good or bad. Thank you for answering that.
As you sit there and you're kind of thinking and the last of it's taken care of, I need to know exactly where everyone is right now. Who's going in the truck, who has just left the area and is heading towards Kate?
Well, Dwight's kind of holding to make sure everybody goes first. Past him.
Elijah's sticking with Greta wherever she's going.
I'm in the truck.
Okay, Sabella?
Yeah, I guess. I am last, so I can't even tell someone to go before me. I guess I would go with Greta and Sawyer. Walking backwards.
Okay.
Walking backwards.
Well, I mean, you can get in the truck. The truck's one of those great big
it's
military
open?
truck. Yeah, you can jump right into it. Yeah.
In the back.
Open. Great.
You can hide behind all the things of medical school.
You can behind all the explosive stuff's back there. There's like alcohol and...
Great.
Stop it.
Great antiseptic.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is there's also room in the front. You could sit. It's a big bench seat.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
not
bench
like
seat,
two
like
bucket
three
seats or
people can
anything.
fit in the front of a military truck.
Yeah, this is, I think, Indiana Jones during the
Yeah, no,
truck. What truck?
The
Right.
Crusade
Yeah, no,
race.
I got it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, if we're going, fuck this guy. Mr. Lancaster, you at least gonna give us a
Captain.
head start?
Yes.
His smile that was hinted at before spreads and his teeth peel back as he is genuinely pleased by the statement that has just been uttered into the Borneo air. And he says,
Can I run him over with the truck?
no, you guys are past that. Yeah. Absolutely, my dear. And Reginald reappears. And are you in the truck? Are you jumping in the truck? Because
Well,
Dwight's already said he's going to be the last one to go across.
Yeah, we haven't gone across yet. I was waiting to drive the truck out.
I just need to know where Sabella is. If Sabella's staying there,
Yeah.
you guys are driving through. So.
No, I went with Greta.
Okay, so you swing up into the truck as you drive through. That statement lingers in the air. You all, if you're looking back, would see the following. As Dwight is backing towards the line and backing towards the gate, Reginald appears, and he is carrying what looks like a pedestal of some kind. It's carved with interwoven ivory tusk tips. So it looks like a great maw, uppers and lowers of elephant and ivory tusks. And he sets it down right beside Dwight as Dwight crosses the line. And there's a flat area on the top of it. And another soldier walks up with something draped. And a one right behind it also has something much larger that's draped. And Lancaster reaches back and he pulls off the smaller object's cover, and there is an intricate hourglass. And he takes it and he flips it and slams it down as the black sand begins to fall and drip to the bottom of the hourglass as he's staring directly at Dwight. And the other soldier comes up behind him, holding this much larger draped object. And without looking, Lancaster reaches back, grabs the covering and rips it off. And there, on a trophy plaque, is the head of a woman. And just as the taxidermied animals from inside the trophy tent had various states of beauty to them, this being a beast familiar with expressions easily read by any human being, shows a mixture of terror, horror, and defiance. But anything that you could read, Dwight, from this trophy ends with just the facial expressions, as the eyes themselves are cut glass, empty, emotionless, not belonging to the proud woman who is now on the wall of Captain Philip Lancaster. And as he stares, he marvels at this woman just as he marveled at the great cats and the wildebeest inside his trophy room. And he turns and he looks at the hourglass, he looks at the woman, and he looks at you, Dwight, and he says, 6 hours. I caught her in 7. And he steps back and the doors begin to close. And they lock behind you.
We'll be, Dwight kind of just says to under his breath, "Will be a little harder catching than you think, Brett."
And as just his face is through the crack, his smile just widens and he says nothing.
Dwight kind of just gives him one of those.
He just continues to smile.
All right. So I've got 2 really good ideas. Three. One was running him over with the truck. 2 was we go in there, we spend 4 hours making a catapult and just fling plague corpses into the British camp.
Can I
Get all medieval in here.
Here we go.
oh my God.
And then 3 involves just filling the truck full of plague corpses and then sending it on autopilot towards the camp down the mountain. I've got, but it's fine.
You guys meet up at 200 feet. Yep.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You guys
we get the
meet up.
impression his men are completely with this.
Yeah.
No, we. Oh God!
Drive into Kate.
Drive
Get in the
in
truck,
the gate.
Dwight.
Dayspire, welcome to the party, pal.
Everything's going great. Okay, yeah, we're driving up to Kate.
Okay, at that moment too, what I'll give you guys too is I'm pretty sure that I gave you the quarantine map, correct?
Yep.
The map with Borneo on it.
Let me make
I
sure I
don't
gave
have
it to you.
anything.
You give us the one map, and it's North Borneo,
Oh.
and it has a little circle that says quarantine zone.
How's
Oh,
that
there.
one?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Oh, wow, that's much more.
Yeah, I flashed it up there for everybody else to see too. This is the quarantine zone. You guys are leaving the army camp and the seaport, and you're heading up the road.
Elijah, he hasn't caught Ruby, and we know where she is. I think that's where we got to go as fast as possible.
I completely agree, Sabella. Don't touch me.
I did not touch you.
He's gonna stand up a bit once they get closer to Kate, and as the truck kind of slows down, just shout out to her. Lancaster thinks he's Frank Buck, and we are his trophy. Please get in.
Well, we gotta stop and pick something up first,
Oh,
Mr. Sawyer.
when I get to study the corpse on the way. We probably shouldn't bring it into the truck. The truck is clean so far.
I think that's wise, Doctor. Now, Mr. Dietrich left something. It's in that crate, and he asked me to make sure to deliver it to another Mr. Dietrich on the promise that if I did, that Dietrich would be compelled to answer any question that I had. I swore that I would do it, but it seems as though we might just want to check and make sure that it's not potentially infected in some way, or at least take precautions if we're bringing it along.
Sure, well, that's a long goddamn way out, isn't it, Katie? Till we have to do that.
Well,
Corpses and cases are very exciting, but perhaps you didn't hear me. I think we're being hunted. Y'all can stop if you want to, but I'm gonna keep going for 5-6 hours.
Mr. Sawyer, what are you talking about?
Oh, you explained the scenario. If there is this object, I need to make sure it's not contaminated.
Yeah, I pointed out.
Okay, she's gonna make sure. Gloves are on.
Yep, Lindy, you are looking at what looks like a maybe 1 to 2 inch tall 4x4 box with appears to be a lid, but it appears to be sealed by some type of it seems to be very sealed. There's some type of rubber around it. There it looks like there's some type of wax as well, and it is embossed with a swastika.
Do I know what this is?
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like it's
The
hermetically
same.
sealed.
It looks like what? The
It looks
same
like it's
boxes I had to bring to Bolivia?
Yep.
Okay.
Noise.
I'll pick that up. I'll look at it. Like, do I see any signs of pestilence, plague, plus blood on it?
No, but what you do notice is about 5 feet off, there's a pair of like surgical tongs that it seems that was used to lay it where it currently rests, and then those were thrown to the side.
Okay. She will pick that up then.
Okay. You have 1 box in your possession.
Soldier boy, what kind of odds do you think we have? I'm sure you've killed more people than that before, huh?
It depends on who he brings and how he. If it's just him, we have a great odds. He's a dead man. But if he brings his whole team, his army, we're in trouble.
I'm not sure if he's a man.
You think
What do
that
you mean
guy's
you
a
don't think
woman?
What do you mean you don't think he's a man, Miss Oz?
He's not right. He doesn't fit here. Which I knew the first moment I walked in that tent.
Of course he doesn't fit. What fits in this fucking world anymore?
No, like he's old, like too old, like like those tissue samples are too old.
Oh, so we're dealing with someone of Olympian level skills here.
I think so.
Well, fun. That just evens the playing field. I'm excited.
Well, that might have been nice to know before I started jogging out here into the middle of this quarantine zone.
That
Well,
was
you might have waited a second.
that was a done deal, ma'am.
I'm fuming. I'm just.
It was gonna play out this way anyway.
You made a captain's decision.
We
Yeah,
need to make
all right.
ourselves harder to track.
Greg, just for clarity's sake, we talked last time about a village and an aid camp. Are either of those things depicted on this quarantine zone map?
Yeah, you'll see them. The first one on the right is the shantytown. The second one is the aid station up the hill a bit. By the reading that Sabella received, you saw both of these. They appear to lie along the road that is currently in front of you. You also depicted a place further up the mountain, but you didn't really have a good way of locating that. You just realized that you were able to ascertain, yes, it was in this direction. Yes, it was on this mountain. And there was a strong feeling that Ruby herself might be in this third location, but its relevance or positioning to the other two locations is nebulous at best.
All right. So 6 hours, you say, Mr. Sawyer, huh?
Yes, and I'm less concerned about getting out of here, but what we're gonna do after we save the little girl. Do you have anything, Miss O'Callahan, in flying condition?
Franklin!
He
No!
can fix up the plane. It's fine. He'll get out of there, baby.
God
Would
damn.
I was wondering when you guys were going to remember about Franklin.
can't win them all.
Ooh.
I'm sure he's fine.
But
Is there any way Dwight can
Don't
start
know.
thinking about
Paper
like setting a
airplane.
trap for this guy? Yeah, Dwight starts going through his mind about sniper positions. He wants to take the fight to him.
Yeah, you mean like guerrilla tactics and stuff?
Yeah,
Like
does he have an idea that he thinks this guy's going to come out on his own?
Well, you did have a pretty good.
Audio-wise?
You get the feel. I'll tell you this. Like I said, it's not a magic spell, but because you did have a very good psychology reading on him, I'll tell you this. You get the very distinct impression that he's not sending anybody. That
He's coming.
if there's somebody coming, he's at least going to be part of the group.
Okay.
Now, don't worry about Franklin. He's no Olympian, and trust me when I say I know how to get into people's heads. He's not very good sport. We, on the other hand, are the ones we need to be worrying about. Why are we still sitting here?
you might bring him bait. Okay.
Yeah, genius. Precisely what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Some things may come into question that happened last night.
Well,
there may be choices.
well, it sounds like
He's not
But your
saying
gesture.
shut up.
Shut your
No.
Has Greta gotten back to the group with the box at this point?
Yeah. I mean, this is a conversation. You guys are still roughly 200 feet away. Well, no, you're farther along now. You've met up to where the body of Dietrich is about 50 feet
Greta
off. So
suggests that Miss O'Callahan drives.
Yeah, do we have anyone experienced with an army truck? I am lacking in that particular field.
I am more used to the civilian cars.
Kate's
Dwight
already-
does. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dwight.
Dwight asked Kate about Germans. We got British now coming after us. What about the Germans? Dietrich, his team.
Yeah, so I'll tell you everything I know on the way, but it sounds like the green flag has dropped, friends. It's time to go. And Kate gets behind the steering wheel to drive.
The second Kate starts climbing into the truck near the driver's wheel, Elijah's trying to find some way to batten himself down and to hold on to dear life.
Okay.
Greta's gonna be in the back while they're moving, taking inventory of all the crates.
Sure. Yeah. You can. It takes a little bit, you know. Luckily, there's a crowbar back there that you can open up one of the crates with, and it doesn't take much, but it appears to be all the supplies that you had requested. Once
And-
again, the caduceus supplies are
No
comfort measures, and
surprises. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
it's got to be a fair chase.
And as we're going, I'm sharing everything that I've heard, to include the suspicions about Caduceus that Dietrich shared, etc. And I'll map back up. We're heading up the mountain.
Dwight will be looking for sniper spots. Anything that he thinks he can get. He's trying to play out how he can get an advantage on this guy.
okay. So, Dwight, why don't you give me 3 spot hiddens, and when I ask for them, you just kind of write down or remember what you got as far as regular, hard, extreme, or failures
Got
of
it.
those 3. And as you guys are all loaded in, Sabella, you're kind of focused in the front with Kate. Kate, you're driving. Greta, you're doing your inventory. And yeah, Sabella's just staring. Okay. And then Elijah, where are you? You're in the front, batting down, like strapped in, and
Yep.
okay. As you're strapped in and you're kind of in the far passenger side, so let's just say for the sake of narrative, it's driver's side Kate, Sabella in the middle, Sawyer kind of along the bench at the end looking out the passenger side window. And as you begin to climb up through the rocky and the kind of rutty ground towards the mountain in the distance, you feel pressure on your leg, Elijah. And when you look down, Ruby's sitting in your lap. Only she looks different than when you saw her. Her face is very ashen, and her eyes are sunken in as if she's very dehydrated. Her once wide and alert eyes have narrowed, as if she's having trouble staying awake. But she does look at you and she smiles, and you see this moment of relief flood through her. And she goes, I thought you'd gone.
Yeah. Stiffen that lip, little soldier. We're on our way. And you just hang on. You let Elijah take care of this.
I'm getting confused, Mr. Elijah. I can't remember things. I don't know where I am. My mommy and daddy are sick. They haven't woken up. I can't stop it anymore. Where are you?
We're on our way, sweetheart. Just hold on. Just be strong.
If I don't know where we are, but there's a little boy in the village. He can't remember his name. He knows where we went. I can't remember his name.
Do you know what he looks like?
He was the only little boy I saw. He had nice eyes. He was nice to me, but I don't know what he was saying, but he seemed nice. He saw us go. And she just puts her head down on your collarbone, and you can feel the pressure on your collarbone as she does it. And you realize that she's fallen asleep.
Elijah turns his head to Kate and Sabella, biting his lip, and we need to make a stop in the village.
All right. Any more details you'd like to offer?
Someone saw them go. They might know where she is. We're looking for a little boy with pretty eyes.
All right. And once we have met him and figured out where she went, we need to make sure he won't tell anyone else. In a nice way.
I was
Sorry.
saying that sounded nefarious. I love it.
Miss Sabella, I believe you and I have traded positions. I don't like this.
I feel
I'll-
very
I'll be the-
comfortable.
I'll be the child silencer, and you can be the one that sees people. We'll go back to the way things were.
I did see her. All right. Little boy with pretty eyes.
Okay,
Great.
so as you guys are driving up into the road, and as the mountain begins to turn, and you lose track of the fort behind you, as you're climbing and climbing and climbing, it's not hard driving, Kate. I mean, this is easy. It's basically you could take your hands off the wheel because the ruts in the roads themselves, as long as it's dry, it will keep it going exactly where it needs to go. Pretty much. And as you're driving, you round a corner, and you're about 30 minutes beyond where you had seen the body of Dietrich, and you've started to climb into the foothills and whatnot. Maybe gone 3-4 miles. You see that there are trees toppled across the path, completely blocking the road.
In a way that's obviously set up as a roadblock.
You'd have to get out and look.
Kate slows the truck down and calls back, Mr. Burke.
Yeah, Dwight kind of snaps out of it because he's looking at the land behind him.
Mhm.
What do you need, Miss O'Callahan?
Tell me, what do you make of this?
Do your thing, Eagle Eyes.
Dwight gets out of the truck and goes in front of it to see what's going on.
Kate has is on the clutch and prepared to throw it in reverse if needed here. This is a perfect ambush zone.
Okay. Dwight
Dwight
with
has
that,
it ready. Spot hidden.
I gotcha. With that spot hidden, you're able to see that these are two very big trees, and they have been snapped and fallen across the way. There's something more to where they have been sundered and snapped that probably requires closer investigation. You'd have to kind of get around to the opposite side of them, but it looks like there's something going on towards like the trunk area, but you're too far away to get a good shot of it.
Well, I will creep up there and take a look, I guess.
Well, why don't you roll me a stealth check then?
All right, I can do that too. Oh gosh, are you kidding me? That's a fail.
You are super quiet.
And
Least you
Mr.
think so.
Sawyer, I want you to be covering him while he's going here.
To the best of my abilities, Captain.
So
Okay,
I guess I fumble up there.
yeah, you go up. A couple of the branches like snap that you didn't see lying in some of the taller grass. Making your own eyes roll for a second as you hope that nobody in the truck heard that. You get closer, and as you round, these are very large trees. We're talking, maybe half the diameter of redwoods. I mean, these are very immense, like jungle banyan root type of big, thick trunked trees. And as you get closer, you walk around the corner and you realize that at least one of the two trees hasn't been cut down at all. It's been unearthed. And as you're kind of marveling at the expansive root structure that's been exposed, as you look around, you need to make a dex check for me.
I would say something pulled these things out, right?
You need to make a dex check for me.
Got it. I got you. Success. Thank God.
Okay, so you walk around the corner and you're taken in by this environmental wonder. And as you walk around, you almost slip and you grab hold of one of the roots and kind of swing and reorient yourself. And as you stop, you look down and you even kind of pull yourself up on the roots a little bit to even get like a larger look. And you are looking down on what can only be described as a footprint, roughly 4 feet by 6 feet.
Do I think it's the, does it resemble the two-trunked elephant that I had seen in the tent?
It doesn't look nearly big enough. The two-trunked elephant doesn't look nearly big enough to have been what caused this. Unless it has a wee little head and a great big body, which doesn't.
Or a great big head and tiny little arms.
Can you check
Right.
is there any claw marks, anything in the branches itself, in the tree itself, anything I can see, like claws, any?
Yeah, if you want to investigate the area, you have to go all the way around the trees. You'll be out of sight of the truck, but you can go around there and look if you'd like.
Yes, I guess I will go out of sight of the truck and I will go all the way around.
Elijah's gonna sneak up on the
Yeah.
other side of the road that he didn't go up.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're
Dwight-
heading
On the
towards
other side.
you're heading
Yeah,
towards
Dwight's
like
not going to stop.
you're heading towards like the trunk area of the tree. So if let's imagine this for sake of theater of the mind, everybody. If you were yourself, Cato Callahan, behind the wheel of the truck, and you were looking up this road, to your right, you would see the unearthed roots of the tree and Dwight Burke curling around the corner. The big thick trunks would be laying across the road, and on Cato Callahan's left, you would see Elijah Sawyer creeping up towards what would be the midpoint of these big trees.
Are me and Sawyer and speaking, we can kind of,
You can shout.
I can shout.
He'll
Sawyer's
definitely hear you
trying
if
to
you
be
shout.
quiet.
Yeah, we're not shouting. I'm not shouting.
Oh,
You
you're
might
trying
not
to be
even
quiet.
know he's there.
Elijah, roll a stealth roll for me then, bud.
Success.
He's very
Maybe-
quiet.
Maybe I can be the new psychic and the new sniper.
You're making a case. You're making a case.
Okay, you blow up something's head and then we'll talk.
Rolls will always dictate that. So Dwight's going to go around the side and make a spot hidden.
Okay, go ahead and give it to me.
Success.
Okay, it doesn't take too much to realize that you can see that the footprint has a pair, it's a set, it's a trail, it's a track that goes from your side of the road across the road in the direction of where, you don't know, but in the direction of where Elijah Sawyer currently is. From your spot, you can also see that through the woods, now that you've kind of moved parallel, there are other felled trees along, making a path through the forest, marking whatever it was that crossed this way.
Okay, so I surmise that there's nothing around at the moment.
I didn't say that. I said you didn't see anything, and that there was a trail leading off
I
in the
tried.
direction of Sawyer.
Well, Dwight's, of course, going to go back to the truck to report what he thinks is going on. We're not going to be able to drive the truck through, I'm assuming.
It would take probably several hours and some heavy machinery to pull
Yeah.
this across. Yeah.
Time to move.
We can't drive around.
Hey, I'll let you give it a shot, but I mean, there's some very deep holes over here.
Yeah, I go back and tell everybody that, there's holes and something has unearthed this.
Dwight, did you see any signs that any of the British officers may have been on the other side of that yet?
Did I see? I don't think I didn't see footprints. All I saw was a big footprint. Something has pulled those trees out
How
of there.
big was that footprint? What was it shaped like? Was it shaped like a mammal, a
You-
reptile?
Doc, you can go look at it.
Well, you would be able to report that it looked like a
Yeah.
three-toed, like seashell type shape.
Alrighty.
Front pads, like a
Okay.
front foot walking. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Roller said, it's Bigfoot. We found it is Sasquatch.
With 3 toes. Okay. Greta will take this and write it in her mind.
Does anyone have beef jerky?
And no other footprints.
There's footprints leading this way. They've knocked over trees. Whatever it is, it's large.
Well, I was just
Uh,
wondering if he might get distracted by it.
You mean like human footprints?
Yes.
I didn't see any. I was too. I could have missed it, but I was too busy looking at the very, very large, whatever it is, going
Sure.
that way.
Is Elijah back yet?
I was going to say, Elijah, we're going to cut over to you, buddy. What do you want to do here? You are kind of creeping up along the side, and you do, in fact, see some of these footprints. Did you want to give him a check? Did you want to look at any of them?
He'll
or-
look at this. He'll give it a quick look, but he was just trying to do what Kate said and provide cover for Dwight. So as soon as he made his huge ruckus coming back down the hill, he probably would have been quickly behind.
Okay.
But he'll see what he can see.
Alrighty. There is one of the footprints that's maybe 2 or 3 feet in front of you. Do you want to look in that one?
Hell, why not?
Sure. Roll me a spot hidden. Okay, you have to get a little bit closer to look in, but I mean it's a big hole, so it's not necessarily something that you're not going to be able to look into. However, when you get close to it, I'd like you to roll a dex check for me, please.
That's something I can do.
Good.
If roll 20 would let me, that is. Success.
Nice. Okay, good. So as you're walking, the ground begins to give away beneath your feet as some of the earth collapses into the footprint, and you're able to kind of reach up, and you just at the last second, like kind of scrape your nails a bit into the bark of the tree and stop yourself from falling headfirst into this pit. And as you stop, you look down, and maybe 2 or 3 feet below where you would have just planted your face is the smushed and very infected body of a Nazi soldier.
Yummy.
You can see that even in death, the Yellow Death has continued to feed.
He will hold his breath and do his best to climb back up and get the hell out of there.
Okay. Because of the proximity and because of the fact that you're looking into a footprint and because you are now the closest person to have gotten to an infected member of the Yellow Death, I'd like you to roll 2 things for me. Luck and sanity.
Is he not wearing the mask I gave everybody?
My luck roll, of course, succeeds because he is very lucky.
He
And
is.
somehow he actually succeeded his sanity despite not being very sane.
Okay. So he stops and Elijah's able to stop himself, doesn't inhale, doesn't do anything, calmly backs up and walks away from the scene with it burned in his mind, but not burning through his mind, as he is able to avoid what would have been a very nasty slip. You can return to the truck if you'd like.
So, friends, turns out Dietrich wasn't alone.
Well-
I mean, he didn't come here by himself.
Sounds as though maybe this is as far as the truck goes, unless we've got some way of getting through this in very short time.
There,
I'm already when I said that I saw the trees and I'd be like, oh, just stuff in my pockets with morphine
Yep.
and band-aids.
is there any other route that we could send the truck down and then cover our tracks at all?
I mean, hell, you could drive it off the road and we could rip our clothes off and slosh blood all over the ground to make it look like we got attacked. But,
Do you have extra blood lying around?
always, but I don't think Master Hunter back there is going to fall for it. I think our best asset is time.
I also do not believe causing intentional self-injury would be good in the time of great infection.
Do I think of
Screw
an
the mask
explosion?
wearing this entire time.
Yes, please let me know if you were wearing the masks that Greta
Yes.
gave
And
you.
the gloves.
Everyone's
Yes.
wearing everything.
Hell yeah.
I've
Okay.
not taken mine off since stating that
Yes,
I put them
yes,
on the night
yes.
before.
The masks on, the gloves are in a back pocket because
They're
he's
rubber
still wearing
gloves.
his gloves.
Okay. All right, so
Fun.
You did not, to answer your question, you did not see another road or a pull off. As mentioned in the narrative, the tracks and the ruts are so thick that it could drive itself up here. There's no other. This is a very dense, foresty area, so there isn't any other cleared spaces. In fact, if you met a truck coming in the opposite direction, it would be very hard placed or very hard put to try to find a way to get them both by. There isn't an area to even kind of pull off the road.
All right.
Sorry.
How far off from the next checkpoint, the next little village do we think we are?
You think you're about half the way there. You've probably another hour on foot and you'd make it.
How long have we been here?
An hour.
Yeah. Greg. Okay. Yeah.
Greg, I'd like to request updates every 30 minutes as time passes, if you'd be willing to do that for us.
Absolutely.
When can I start making my spot hidden?
Anytime you'd like.
I mean, it didn't seem like those tracks were coming the way we're going, at least not right away. So we might as well hurry.
That reminds me of something. And it would be on my
two successes and a hard.
Okay, I need to remind you of this. You asked if there was another way to go. There is. The path that whatever it was that knocked over the trees, it did leave a path through the forest that is not the trail that you're currently on.
Which direction does that seem to lead?
If the map that I gave you is north to south, this one is traveling from east to west.
Okay.
But it sort of looks like it curves and goes back up the mountain in the distance.
Okay.
We're going to have to watch our tracks.
Right.
He's going to be tracking us.
Right. Although he knows, exactly where we're going until we get past Caduceus. So we told him.
I hand everybody their canteen of water and fruit and extra water and bleach. I'm like, you carry this thing of bleach, you carry
When you hand Elijah the water, he's like, doctor, we need one more of the little girl. I don't think she's
That's why I had extra water requested. Here you are. She puts a couple drops of bleach inside in it.
Just be prepared to deal with severe dehydration. I'm sure you can figure out something.
I will do my best with supplies I have on hand.
Maybe if we can find the boy and get to where she is, she's in some kind of cave. Maybe we can make a stand from that cave because I don't know how we're going to get out. But that's a problem for later.
I have all the things that I'd need, or that we are able to carry, and still keep us light and moving. Do we leave the truck here? Do we rig it to blow, send it back down the hill? Do we drain some gas, send it back down the hill so they cannot get up here as quickly in their own trucks, and then go? We need to be going.
Right. It's hard to get around in their own trucks. Yeah, what if we could put something and just have it drive itself back down?
Yeah, we puncture the gas tank so it does not full. It will run out of gas before hitting the
yeah.
And
now that is a wonderful idea.
You have perked me up, Doctor.
Mr.
I could probably shoot the gas tank.
We don't want it to explode. We want it to be in the way.
Yes.
If we ruin the gas tank and it runs out before it hits the bottom, they will have a harder time getting up.
If you liked being touched, Doctor, you'd be getting a hug, but you do not. That is a great idea.
Touching is a very bad thing in this type of
No, I am 100% on board with not touching anyone ever again right now.
Okay.
So, yes. Let's head it back down.
Okay, she's just already going to start. She'll be like, Mr. Callahan, would you like to assist?
Absolutely.
30 minutes.
Send it back down, and then we book it.
Yep.
Okay, so you set the truck up. How are you going to drain the gas out of the truck? That's what you said, right? You want to drain the gas out of the truck and make it into...
How much gas is in the tank still? How much gas did it take to get up here?
Not much. I mean, you guys only drove about
okay.
3.
I just think if you shoot it, it can't move.
But we wanted to get closer down so that they're blocked from using the truck to get up. where
Let
we
it
are.
go, and then Dwight can shoot it moving, and it'll explode, and bam, that'll be. They will be able to get it out of the way.
Do you have a clear line of sight all the way back down?
Well, it depends on how big the gas tank is. The gas tank on the side there, GH, coming out of the back.
Yeah, you, underneath
Yeah.
the footwells are the two
Right.
gas cans on these.
If it is a big enough explosion, so yeah.
It could bring that thing toward them.
It
I
could.
love when we blow things up, things go well for us.
Let's do it.
I'm just do not want the pieces of shrapnel are too small. They will be able to just run it over. Is my only
Right.
concern.
Well, it's still going to be. I mean, it's not going to completely destroy the thing. They won't be able to move it though.
It'll be fine. It'll be enough though. Let's get it going down the hill and give it as far as you can, Mr. Burke, before you take that shot.
Okay, I will let you know this. If that is the course of action that you want to give the truck the biggest distance between this roadblock and its potential roadblock, Dwight, you can double the distance that you would be able to have an effective shot on this thing if you climbed a tree.
Okay. Well, that'll be fine.
Not necessary. I don't think we need that much, and we don't have that time.
Okay. Well, then I'll shoot right there. It don't matter to me either way.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm here to help, guys, is what I'm trying to say.
Just stop. Just stop.
Mug.
Just stop.
Okay, so okay, so what I'm going to need you to do is you're making a called shot here. You're eventually going to hit it. I'd like to know how many shots it's going to take you to make a hard shot with the sniper rifle.
I'd need a hard success. Training in on this thing.
You're training in on the. I mean, you can take as many as you'd like.
So
Dwight's
since we don't
gonna
have
hit
siphon
it.
in the gas tank, do we get the 30 minutes back? Because we would have discussed this. Would have been discussed before. Greta
Yeah, you're still at 30.
I'll take as many as I need.
Okay, 1.
Pretend it's a squirrel or a monkey.
There it is. 2.
Yep.
Yeah, pretend
So-
it's a monkey.
Pretend
There
it's
you
a
go.
monkey.
Right. Yeah, pretend it's a monkey holding something.
That you really
Well,
want.
I hit it.
Okay, so the first shot goes, it hits the truck, but it bounces through the passenger side door that recently had Elijah Sawyer on the opposite side of it talking to a Ruby Foster. But the second shot is dead on the money, and as it pierces the large external tank of the truck, for a second nothing happens, as Mythbusters has often told us, but when it finally heats up to the point of explosion, this truck launches into the air. It lands on its side and completely blocks this road. It is now going from left to right across when it was previously going up and back. So it is kind of jackknifed in the middle of this, and it is on fire. I'd like everybody to roll listen checks for me, please.
Oh, great.
And then let's book it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're already running.
No.
Oh my god, I succeeded!
I hear nothing but explosion.
I only have basic listen.
Good
Oh
job.
my
Reddit,
God.
Reddit is really good at listening because I heard that door open when I was dissecting bodies
I'm
too.
rolling poorly.
Your
I've got
ears
it.
are ringing from shooting the gun.
I've got a success too.
Okay, so Miss O'Callahan and Dr. Von Krause, as you are both sitting there and the explosion goes off and the rest of the Olympians are kind of, flinching from it, and Dwight's suffering from the effects of firing 2 shots instead of 1, as, Natty Bumpo or Old Leatherstocking would tell you, would immediately triangulate your position of any Native Americans in the area. You do hear, in an answer to the roar of the explosion that goes off, you hear a very tribal, distant, but coming from the coastline, a great and it kind of drifts off, and you hear one long blast come from the coastline as the black smoke trickles into the Borneo air.
That was your idea, Doctor. If we die, I'm blaming you.
My idea was not to explode it. My idea was to stop quietly at the end. But
Mr. Sawyer, if we die, it's pretty clear whose responsibility it's going to be now. Let's get moving.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, so once you guys get everything, grab everything, get over the initial roadblock that stopped you, and you're making your way free of, you're about a mile or two beyond that. Another 30 minutes has passed, so you are 2 hours into your trek from the fort. I'm going to give you a break here, about another, we'll go with another half hour. Another half hour later, and you look down on what appears to be or what used to be a farm, but is now a collective or a tent city, a ramshackle bivouac aid station extension, as there are rows and rows of people that from this distance, it's difficult to see who is still fighting and who is lost, as there are at least 36 people out in the Borneo air that are lying outside of these tents. Some of the tents have collapsed. As you stare and look for a few minutes, you see that there are people kind of weakly going towards each, and there's a cluster of people standing off to the side, but they're more leaning against some of the more permanent objects of the farmhouse as they are struggling, and you're too far away to see actual contagion or actual symptom measurement, but it appears that everyone down there is either...
No one's like peppy, hopping around like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
You don't see anybody that seems to be really happy about the situation, or, zippity-doo-dah, and there's none of them down there like that. You do, however, see on the far side, exactly opposite your position through the village, there appears to be a trench and a mass grave. And the only reason you can see that is that it's spilling up into this village proper. Welcome to the village.
What are we looking for again, specifically?
Small boy with pretty eyes. We're not being hunted yet. Do you think it's likely that the Frank Bunk wannabe is gonna keep his word and not hunt us early?
I think so.
Then I say we split up, friends, and try to find this little boy as quickly as we can.
Go in pairs of 2?
Yes.
Yeah. I called the doctor.
There are 5 of them.
Okay, so you guys are splitting up
there are
into...
5 of us. I was looking at the Zoom chat. I was like, there's 6 of us.
Greg is not one of us.
So not one
I'll
of
help.
us.
All right, we can split to 2.
What do you guys need me to do?
Never.
Nothing. Be quiet.
I have some really good suggestions.
So you can play Franklin and be the third person. Okay.
Oh no, Franklin's dead. I mean, Franklin's not here right now.
Greg, stop
Dwight
it.
could probably find this kid pretty quick.
Not.
All right, so we should split into 2 groups. So
Yeah.
Strider, Greta, and Soman, or Strider, Greta, and then you 3.
I'll go with Miss Ives and Kate.
I don't want to be with Kate.
Mm-mm.
I'm going with Sawyer and Greta.
I will go with Kate.
Good.
You two,
All right, Mr. Burke.
don't get close to that mass grave.
Don't touch anyone. Make sure you are wearing your masks at all times and keep your gloves on. Do not drink the water, and do not let anyone sneak up on you and touch you. Don't
The
even
good
say like,
doctor-
help me, I am dying. Just ignore them.
The good doctor and I are gonna sneak up further ahead. You check it out here.
Here's some morphine, and she'll just hand them each like a little thing of morphine.
Dwight just like, keep that shot handy, Doc.
What do I do with this?
Yeah, this is morphine. You you can inject it into yourself if you wish to.
I don't know that I
Elijah-
can.
Like you have pain if you are experiencing pain.
Elijah will legitimately take some right now, actually.
Okay, a little morphine. Well, oh, Greg.
Yes.
So you said there was all sorts of just basic comfort stuff, right?
Sure.
That totally includes sedatives, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I would have taken the sedatives too.
You're taking them?
Morphine.
Like
I
you're...
would have acquired them and have them with me, and I'll hand like an
Elijah will
injection of
take 'em.
sedative to each person. Like, if someone does try to touch you, just stick some with this, and they will not be a problem. They will
Oh, okay. Oh, you want like
sedatives.
you want like ampules and like hypodermics of sedatives. You want like
tranquilizers. I have needles. I could stuff some sedative in a needle.
okay.
hand it
Well,
out.
they would have had some type of probably powdered sedative at the time.
They may have had some. They had some pretty good sedatives.
I tell you what. Roll a luck roll for me.
Okay.
And
okay.
I'll let you know by the result of the roll how much
right.
you were able to find, or if you found
Damn
anything.
it! 100.
There was fucking nothing in there. That's
Nothing.
strange.
Nothing.
There's strange that there were no sedatives whatsoever in there.
They wanted
You-
these people to suffer. That is
Right.
That's 200s in a row. You
I
kidding me?
can.
I know.
I can.
Look
if,
at that,
if
right back to
someone
back.
comes
Okay.
up to us, I can try and stop them.
Yeah. So, but I handed everyone morphine because there definitely was morphine.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Do
already
you
been
have any
established.
extra
It's canon.
morphine?
Yeah, I have lots of morphine. I stuffed my pockets.
Oh, good. Good.
Jesus, do I think he can find this kid pretty quick?
Yeah, Mint just says that Elijah just wants to be numb to the bullshit he's being put through.
He
That's
is being
good.
put through the bullshit he's being put through.
Hey, listen,
Right?
I'm
Split
just
up.
saying that there was a great comment in chat. I am here. I'm your keeper. I need to bring you guys, make you aware of such things. Speaking of Mr. Sawyer, you are in fact taking some of the morphine.
bit.
Just
I
a little
give
taste,
him a
rubbing it on your
proper
gums.
dosage.
Mr. Sawyer loves downers. Yes, he will.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
give him
So
an appropriate dosage that will keep him chill, but not like put him out and make him hallucinate. 'Cause I'm a
okay, so you did
doctor.
no testing on him yet to know like what he can handle. What
No,
I
well,
got test.
I did give him
You're
some
just going by
Lich
the standard.
the
yeah, you
standard
did give-
height, weight, yeah.
Okay. Here's what we'll do then.
Height,
You-
weight, age, and I've seen him on Blitz now, so I know how
You've
that
seen him
affects
on the Blitz. Yeah, you've seen him on the
Yeah.
Blitz. So, but that's an accelerant, or that's
Yeah.
amphetamine as opposed to.
We have to carry him.
Okay, so I'll tell you
Just
what,
a little
because
bit,
you've
a little bit less than the standard dose. But you're gonna give him light to start with.
that's good. Okay, what we're gonna do is you roll a pharmacy roll,
Mhm.
and Elijah, you roll a Constitution roll, and we'll see what we get.
Successes all around.
A success all around. Great. And what that means is mechanically is Elijah's not as worried about this situation as he was a minute and a half earlier. Also, if Elijah is subject to a sanity roll, he will do so with advantage.
Also,
For-
narratively, Elijah has been bugging the doctor for drugs since he met her. So, just so everyone's aware.
I'll just I'm like, when this wears off, let me know. I can fit you for another dose.
Oh, trust me, I'll let you know right away.
I'm sure you will.
Okay. So as you guys split up and you go into your separate areas, the warnings in place that Greta has given you, don't touch anybody, keep your distance. We have
Completely
Greta
covered.
and Sabella and Elijah walking off in a group. We also have Kate and Dwight walking in a group. Somebody from each group, I would like you to roll me a luck roll. It doesn't matter who it is, just one member of each group.
Success.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Kate.
All right. Success.
All right, so as you all are walking in, you kind of split up and you flank through the village. Greta, Elijah, and Sabella, you guys are able to actually get into the village proper. And as you're up here, Greta, you notice that everybody that's kind of lying around is either dead or in stage 3. And they have the same pustules and boils all over them in there. A lot of people don't have a shirt on or any type of clothing. So you see that just like in the picture, the lymph nodes are swollen to the point of almost bursting. They are in incredible discomfort, but most of them are also in some high fever delirium. So you're not sure exactly, while the pain is probably still being registered, it's impossible to say how conscious they are of it. It is a very disturbing sight, though. So I would like everybody in that group, including the doctor, to roll a sanity check for me. But with advantage for Elijah.
Yay, advantage.
Oh, I'm fascinated by all of this. Look
Yes.
at me.
Greta
It's just
is
not my top priority for some reason.
6 sanity goes to the man with the morphine, as even despite the dulled effects, when you look everywhere and you see what's going on here, you don't see the bodies of strangers. You don't see the faces of children you've never met. Everywhere you look, you see the sunken and hollowed eyes of Ruby Foster. You see the boils creeping up her neck. You see her own eyes becoming blood-filled and shot. And no matter how hard you try to convince yourself she's not here, I'm not seeing her, Elijah, it still creeps in. And every corpse, every person struggling with breath is Ruby Foster. And you can't get around it. Now, the other group, as the two of you enter the village, you see somebody take notice. And a man in a wide brimmed hat comes forward. His skin is jaundiced, his eyes are yellow, but he does have a smile on his face as he walks forward and he says, in broken English, "Oh, my friend, help! You've brought help." And he comes closer. And
That's
closer.
close enough.
He's not stopping. Closer. "Oh, you come to help." And his hand comes out to shake yours as he is within 10 feet. I need an action from both of you right now.
Gotta make hand signals with the broken English people.
Kate,
Dwight, go ahead.
well, Kate's got the serpent gun straight at him, and she's kind of stepping back a little bit, but her hand out. Stop. Don't come any closer.
His eyes focus on the serpent gun, and in a fever, it appears that with the odd shape of the gun, he in fact thinks it might be some type of medicine, and his eyes get wider as he gets closer.
Well,
and
Dwight changes all doubt and pulls out the 45. Step back now.
The man pauses for a moment, looks at both of you, and lunges. Let's cut back to the other three. You guys are able to reach. You guys are able to go through the entirety of the area, and you get to the far side of the village, and you see the mass grave extending. And it looks like it was probably a riverbed in the rainy season, hence the location of this farm. And on one of the rises, you see a small figure sitting in the dirt, looking down into the trench.
Is it a little boy?
It certainly looks like a child from this distance. You'd have to get closer to see.
I'm gonna.
Perhaps one of you two should hail him, because I do not know if the Nazis are here beneficial. My accent might frighten.
Maybe Elijah hails, and I will look behind us, just in case. You don't want to hail the child?
I'm done.
That's the spirit, Mr. Sawyer. Hello.
Mechanically, he just got hit with a super sanity loss, so that's...
Yeah, that's...
Oh.
Yeah, he has 10.
Literally. I will wave and, yeah. Hi.
The little boy appears not to notice. He's just staring into the trench.
We're not gonna push the little boy in, Kate. That's fucked up.
Not even funny.
Okay.
It's really funny.
Allison, what
You
is
gotta
wrong?
go. You have to go talk to the boy.
Sure.
So, sorry, can you describe where he is in relation to the
He's at the edge of the pit.
He's at the edge of the pit.
Your side. Yeah, he's not on
Yeah.
It's not like the pit and then you guys, the pit and then him. It's like you guys, him, and then the pit.
Does his skin
Elijah.
look discolored?
You would have to get closer, and I'll let you when you're within 30 feet, just like with Dietrich, you can roll
Greta
a
will
spot
go
hidden.
closer with her.
Okay.
But she's not
Elijah
gonna-
stays where he is. He's afraid to look into that pit. He doesn't want to see all those people looking up at him with Ruby's face.
Okay, so Strider just kind of stares off. There's no one around, or Elijah stares off. There's nobody around Elijah.
Okay.
As the two of you advance on this small figure.
Trying to focus in on just.
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, when you get closer, I'll allow you both to roll observation checks. A medicine, if you're Greta. Obviously, you can roll medicine too, but I'm assuming spot hidden's probably better for you, Sabella.
Yeah. Nice.
Greta fucking loves this place.
Yeah.
This is the best thing for a doctor scientist. She's just so fast. There's so much she hasn't seen before.
Right. So Greta kind of creeps forward with an eagerness, and with the expert medical eye that she possesses, she's able to look at the boy, and he does not seem contaminated, at least not in any discernible outward appearance. No jaundice. Even as you watch him, you don't see him like rub his throat or rub the back of his head
Okay.
or do anything that might, wipe away sweat. He just seems to be sitting with his knees drawn up
Does
to
he
his
look
chest.
a little dehydrated or anything? Because I was super good extreme.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's in ill. He looks like he's a little
Okay.
underfed, But
Yeah,
other
okay.
than that, he doesn't appear to have any type of medical
And
condition.
it's really easy if they're underfed to see if they're swelling. So she's
Right,
like,
right.
she's fairly confident. Like, he does not appear to be infected. Fraulein Ives.
However, the closer that you get to this pit, even with the masks on, you begin to smell that ripe, that sickly sweet stench of death.
Does not bother me.
Right, you're fine. Sabella, it's getting a little
You
right.
ever smelled rotten crawfish in the summer, guys?
Febreze smell.
Sure.
I mean, we need to get him away from there.
You need to approach him without startling him, so he does not fall in.
Sure.
You just say hello. How are you doing? I mean, I could say it. I do not know if he does.
Right.
Because of the Nazi presence, I just.
Right. I'm just gonna keep kind of calling out as we get a little closer to see if he'll ever turn around.
Okay, so at 30 feet, he does not turn. At 25, he does not turn. At 20, he does not
I
turn.
was stopping at 20.
Okay.
And he's just
With my extreme medical success that I had there.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Lindy, Esquire, go
As
ahead.
we're getting closer, would I have noticed any sort of injection point on the back of his head?
Any sort of injection point?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then no, Greta's like, he's fine. Fine. I will talk to the kid if you will not approach.
It's not that I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to get close to the pit of dead infected bodies.
She's already done with it. She's already over it. Okay, so
I'm not going anywhere.
Greta, you're approaching.
If Sabella's not walking any closer, we need to get this kid's attention. We only have 6 hours. Yeah, she's going to be approaching.
Okay, 15, 20, or 20, 15. At 10, you start up the rise that is the riverbank. And you get a view of the inside of the tumbled corpses that appear to have originally been wrapped in some type of sheet or linen.
Then they ran out of linens and sheets.
And now it's just bodies. Just pustules and that sickly glaze over everything. And as you get within about 10 feet, the boy slowly turns and looks at you, and he has the prettiest eyes. And let's cut back over to our intrepid band of Dwight Burke and Cato Callahan as the man lunges, hoping that you all are the ones that have brought him salvation. You have 1 moment to do something. What is that something?
It turns out that we have. Kate takes the shot, and she'll take all 3 until she's downed him. Serpent gun first here, so silent shots.
Okay.
Sorry, I could have been a bit more ready for that, but
That's perfectly fine.
how about that?
Okay.
He's dead.
With an extreme, as explained in the narrative before, when the serpent gun enters a body, it cauterizes the wound. And as soon as it enters the head of this man, it completely cauterizes the wound, leaving nothing that can be visibly seen floating through the air. I would like you to each roll luck rolls for me.
Oh, come on, man. Put on something
Masks,
better.
masks, and
Oh, can't believe it.
fuck.
Succeeded.
So as Kate fires the shot that ends, a expertly placed shot that takes the neck and the head above it off of this farmer, the headless body pitches forward. And as it stumbles the last few feet, the hands that were reaching out for help grab the outside, and one of the fingers lightly brushes the exposed neck of Cato Callahan as it falls to the ground.
What?
And that, my friends, is where we will end this session of Pulp Cthulhu. Project Athena, everybody. Project Athena. I'm having fun. I hope that everybody that stuck around here and watched the exploits of our Olympians had as much fun as I did. I had a blast. I love these people. Sometimes they think I put them through these things on purpose, but we are telling great stories, I believe. And I believe this was a very good one as well. So let's jump right in and talk to the touched Kato Callahan. Allison, I was gonna say 1933 surviving, but that seems. How you doing?
At least it'll be another day. She's got 48 hours.
Great stories, huh? Easy for you to say.
I like to think so, but
I'm sure you do. That's probably how you sleep at night, isn't it? Exposed skin. Where did that even come from? No exposed skin. That's
You are a mummy.
folks. We'll see you next time. Until then, you can find me on Twitter, crying at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. Catch me on the WanderQuest podcast, where I'm decidedly not dying, and on God's Fall as well. And thanks to everyone. Despite, I'm not sure what I'm reading in all those facial expressions, but hopefully we're still friends. Bye.
always friends. Everyone, it's a friendly time in Borneo. That's what Borneo's called. It's a magical
You're not the one I'm
place.
worried about, Craig.
Oh, okay. Well, then good. I was worried for like a second. Lauren, hey, Sabella, she seems to have had a great go of it today. Did you enjoy your time in 1933?
I did. This was so much fun. I'm gonna blow that man's head up if it's the last thing I do. You can find me on Twitter at that salty ginger and DMing tomorrow on Encounter Roleplay at 1 p.m. ESTs and D&D 5e, where I'm also gonna try to kill my friends, Greg.
It's fun, especially when you have great friends. Really, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of great friends, Steven, Dwight, he had some stuff to do today. Took it to a British captain, stood toe to toe with an army. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah. He is not happy about being in the infected area here, where a light little touch. Where I think Mr. Callahan has closed head to toe, so I can't imagine she got affected. So I'm with her on this. So Dwight wants to get out of this place as soon as possible. You know what I mean? He wants to help these people, but he realizes they're not going to be able to help him right here in the middle of this village. So he's ready to move on. So follow all these people. Follow Greg. Follow Lindy. Follow Lauren, Kate, Sawyer. Follow all these guys. They do a great job. Thank you.
Alrighty. Mr. Sawyer, welcome back to 1933. How did you like your time in beautiful, beautiful Borneo?
The words Strider and Sawyer are starting to become
Blur.
one for the party, and I hate it. I'm not Elijah Sawyer. At least not all of me. It's fun. It's weird playing this character because he doesn't care if he dies, but I love him, and he is in the 30s for sanity, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose him. But I just got to keep playing him true to the character. Check me out on Wednesday on Encounter Roleplay, where I don't even have to try to kill the party because chat does it for me. And of course, I'll be here next week to slay Nazis and Brits now, and all kinds of things. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome. And I've said it once, and a lot of times it might not be believed. I do too truly love every one of these characters. And believe it or not, as a keeper his job is a lot of times to prevent them with, life-removing situations, I will be the first to shed a tear when and if an Olympian falls. So I couldn't love Elijah Strider anymore. I think he's a great character. Lindy, Greta, this is actually a vacation for her. So
The dice love role play, and they're like, yeah, Greta's having a great time here. Look at all these extreme sanity checks for the plague and bodies and medicine. She's like, la la la. Oh, that's fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen a plus that that big before. Wow, look at that. It's like a scientific field day here, but she can't touch anything, so it's kind of sad. Yeah, oh my gosh, so much crazy stuff happened tonight, and my heart was pounding like the entire time. I was like, I don't know what to do, and I'm so scared. Yeah, yes, I see that. She likes touching dead things and sciencey things, not living people that want to interact with her. It's a weird quirk of hers.
Right. That's an excellent observation.
Yeah, but you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy. I'm on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. I do Dungeons and Dragons, video games, and cosplay on my own channel. And on Wednesday afternoons, you can find me with this gentleman on Encounter Roleplay for Call of Cthulhu. I'm a crazy hobo.
It is a good show. Please join us there.
Oh,
As for me,
tentacles.
I know. As for me,
Podcast
right this packet. As for me, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. Once again, you can see me doing Cthulhu with Lindy on Wednesdays, and next month, Cthulhu with Lindy in Tomes and Tentacles, the new podcast from Encounter Roleplay. Also, I will be rejoining as an official member of the cast on Encounter Roleplay's Learn by Play on Dungeons and Dragons official channel, Wizards of the Coast on Twitch, next Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So join us there. It's a great show. Will does a fantastic job with it. Everybody's awesome. But we're going to go raid our buddy Grant right now. And because Grant's always awesome and, he is a bad boy. But I want you all to remember, we're not going to be here next week because of some type of sports ball game. But look around. We might just pop up with something. Maybe something that even these people don't know about. Uh-oh. But anywho, take it easy, everyone. Please stay safe in 2018, and please come back and join us in 1933. Love you guys. See you soon.
Heck off, Greg.